Hey, Mark Allen here. Thanks for watching Four Color Commentary. I wanted to do another comic haul video. Have gotten a few first appearances, as well as a couple of firsts, and we'll talk about those. But doing it here in the backdrop, I changed the backdrop the last time I did a video. We had this backdrop, I believe, when I did it with Isaiah. And I do this backdrop because, of course, the comic spinner rack is back there. Perhaps I should do this. There we go. The comic spinner rack is back there, and don't you love my shadow? I like the fact that the spinner rack is back there because this is where I put my the beaters and the readers, and it's good to remind ourselves, that comics, first and foremost, they're for entertainment. They're for reading, and if you want to read them, and if you want to, the old ones, if you want to go ahead and go ahead, wrap the cover around and read it, have a good time with it. But that's just kind of, I try to keep that in mind for myself, because I've become quite a collector over the years, and I do, as you know, I don't spend a lot of money on on trying to turn a profit or flipping, but I do, if I see a book that's worth some money on, or it's doing well on eBay, I'll certainly pick it up out of the dollar box, or even pay cover price for it. I won't go much above that. But but at the end of the day, these are for entertainment value. These are beautiful, colorful, fun stories that you just enjoy reading, and I like my kids to enjoy them. And so, yeah, some of them are worth some money, but I try to remind them that hey, look, it's all about the fun. It's more than anything, it's about the fun you can have reading comics and just letting your imagination go crazy. What was that? Excuse me. All right, there we go. So anyway, welcome to Four Color Commentary. Wanted to go through a comic haul very quickly, and as quickly as I can anyway. And first we have this Groot number 4 from, I think, 2015. I believe that's correct. Yes, it is, and it's the first appearance of Baby Groot. I didn't even realize this was out there, and I picked this up for $1 at a local flea market. But sure enough, you have at the end. I'm just going to go ahead. Spoiler alert. Baby Groot shows up at the end of... whoa, my camera just went out there for a minute. Froze up. It'd be interesting to see if it does that on playback. There's Baby Groot. And, he says, I am Groot. And he's, next, Baby Groot alone. And so anyway, first appearance of Baby Groot. Who knew? I didn't know. I'm sure some of you did out there, if not all of you. I also picked up issue number 23 of the 2015 series of Guardians of the Galaxy, which, as you may now know, is the first appearance of the planet of the symbiotes, which are called the Klyntar. And that's just kind of cool, I thought. And it was a really, really neat story. What we found out is that the symbiotes are not evil. Okay, they're actually quite benevolent race. But when symbiotes go to other planets far away, and they get their connection with the rest of the Klyntar gets, they're separated and it gets interrupted, it messes with them. That's the best I can, having just read it one time, that's the best I can tell you. But I believe it's the Klyntar. But anyway, just kind of a neat book, kind of a neat twist and addition to the story of the symbiotes. And so there you go. If I'm getting the Klyntar name wrong, I'm sure somebody will let me know. Okay, another first appearance that's been kind of, I know Comics Tom 101 has featured it, but it's Silver Surfer number 1, because it's the first appearance of Tyrant, who is said to be is going to be the Galactus Herald when Galactus finally shows up in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the first appearance of Tyrant. I found it at cover price. Well, I found it at $2.99, which was over cover price, but $2.99 regular price in a back issue box. And so anyway, neat one to have. And this is the thing, though. I always enjoyed this run of Silver Surfer anyway. This especially the Ron Lim art, and just really enjoyed one of my favorite stories ever. Is of that run of Silver Surfer is the Herald Ordeal, a 6-part series that is just a 6-part story that's just really, really good and a lot of fun. So anyway, Silver Surfer 81, finding that for $2.99, great deal there. Another one that I got for $1 that has been talked about on a couple of the, well, it's been on one of the top 10 books simply because it's been optioned. Now let me stop for a minute and just talk about, first of all the rumors that are coming out about the Marvel movies. I tend to be a bit of a doubter sometimes. They can't all be true. All the rumors of who's going to be in this movie, who's going to be in that movie, what they're working toward. Some of it's going to be true. I tend to think some of it won't be. In fact, we just had the report that it was reported that Richard Rider as Nova actually showed up in the battle scenes at the end of Endgame, and then it was immediately released after that he didn't show up. So, some things are going to be they're not going to be true. But this one, I went ahead and it was $1, so I went ahead and took a chance on it because it has been optioned. 4 kids walk into a bank. Now, everything that's optioned doesn't mean it's going to be turned into a movie or a TV show. But, for $1, you get to read something I've never read before, possibly a great story, and go back and get the rest, which is really what it's all about. At $1, you really can't lose. If it's a first appearance, great. But if it's a good story, then you've just gotten a good story for $1. And where I got that, I happen to know they have the rest of them for $1 too, and nobody ever touches them. So anyway, okay, a couple other firsts that I picked up for $1. Well, this one first. It's the one that I told you about. I've had for a long time, or I'm going to tell you about it. But this is the Convergence #2, Superman Convergence #2. This is the first appearance of John Kent, Clark and Lois's son. Now, this is doing nothing right now on the back issue, market. It's, I think, for a short time when they were trying to really push the Super Sons again, it was doing something. But for $1, like I say, I always pick these kind of things up. It's like playing a game. And I don't play the lottery, and I don't buy lottery tickets, that kind of thing. But comic books are fantastic. I like them. They're my hobby. So why not? I've got this, just a copy of Convergence #2, nice copy, Convergence Superman #2, and give you an example of how some people would say, "Oh, that's sick." I bought a while back. I bought 10 high-grade copies of the old Marvel series, Star Trek #1, that started after Star Trek the Motion Picture. And I bought 10 copies of that. Why? Because they were $1 a piece. I believe it was 10, maybe 12 copies, because I seem to remember spending an even $3. So it may have been 12 copies. But that's 12 high-grade copies of kind of a landmark book, not the first Star Trek comic, but the first Star Trek Marvel comic, done by Marvel. And so at $1 a piece, high grade, just set those back in a box and let them sit there. If they sit there for 20 years, great. But at some point, someone's probably going to want them for more than $1 a piece. So anytime I can put something back that might help pay for the hobby, great. Now, let's see, a couple of other firsts. This first Superman or Secret Origins, the Golden Age Superman. Anytime that I can find this book on the cheap, I get it. Secret Origins #1, because this is one of those books that has heated up multiple times in the past, and it's just a good one to have and put back in your in your collection. Now, if it seems like I'm doing this a lot, keep in mind my collection is only a little over 4,000 comics. I'm selling as I'm buying, and I'm unloading on eBay and such as that. And so, I do this. This is solely how I pay for my hobby, is selling and then, buying stuff and then flipping. I try not to take anything out of our personal account to pay for comics. So when I find the good deals, kind of have to get them so that I can make a deal later on. Now, here's a couple more that I found for a good deal. Not dollar comics, but $2.99 a piece. Booster Gold #1, a first appearance of Booster Gold. A book I've been looking for quite a while. Again, just another lesson to remind us, patience pays off. And so Booster Gold #1 for $2.99, and also Booster Gold #2 for $2.99. I've read #1, pretty good, very entertaining. I haven't read 2 yet. I went ahead and they didn't have 3 and 4, but I picked up 5. Actually, you know what? They did have 3 and 4. I had other things on my radar though. At $2.99 a piece, I wasn't ready to pick those up. But #5 was $1. And it had a little blurb there talking about the Booster Mobile unveiled. And I thought, well, what in the world would the booster mobile look like? I have to know. So I picked that up. And so there you go. Now, a couple other dollar comics that I picked up that were interesting. This one's not a first appearance, but it is a second appearance of Lobo. And talks about Lobo eventually hitting the big screen, and The Rock, I believe, is still slated to play him, or rumored to play him. Went ahead and picked up Lobo, the second appearance. That's Omega Man number 10 for $1 at a local flea market. And then a really nice high-grade copy of Incredible Hulk number 220 for $1 at a flea market, and at the same flea market. And just anytime I can get those Hulks, I like to get those, especially the ones with the Ernie Chan covers. And just really cool art, and so I like those. Now, I believe that's all of the first appearance. No, one more, a couple more first appearances. This one, iffy at best, but a lot of the Marvel Ages I'll pick up when I find them in the dollar box. This Marvel Age, actually, it's deceptive. I've heard people say, "Oh, this should be heating up," but I'm not sure that it should, because it is Marvel Age number 99 with a 7-page preview of the Infinity Gauntlet, the story, the original Infinity Gauntlet story. However, there's no appearance of the Gauntlet itself. It's just a 7-page preview of the first issue of the limited series. And so I really don't see that doing much. I'd be surprised if it did. Anything's possible. This hobby surprises me all the time. So, who knows? It may happen. Now, this next one I want to tell you about, with all the excitement surrounding the Marvel characters, the Avengers characters, Thor and all of that, I wanted to show you a very affordable first appearance you can still get, and that is Thor number 384 with the first, the Once and Future Thor is what it says, introducing the Once and Future Thor. The first issue of a brand new era, that was basically heralding the incoming of Tony Isabella and Ron Frenz coming in as the creative team for the Mighty Thor. This was after Walt Simonson's run. Great run it was. But anyway, so Thor number 384, Volume 1. That's the Once and Future Thor. His first name was Dargo. I don't remember his last name. It was a far future story where a corporation was running the world. And Thor, someone needed to liberate the people, and Dargo was able to pick up the hammer and be that. But of course, great story, lots of fun. That's just one of those that I've always had and kept, because it was a great story, great read, a lot of fun. Now, a couple of things I picked up just simply because they looked good, and I'd never read them before, and I wish I could have gotten Captain Atom number 1, but I did get 2 and 3. And the reason why I got these, edit, and I'll be back. Okay, the miracles of modern video. Okay, I'm back. Had to go get, Isaiah is part of a running club, and he was done running. Had to go get him. All right, so where was I? Captain Atom. Captain Atom. I got number 2 and number 3. Couldn't find number 1, and got those for $1. What intrigued me was I always liked the examinations of DC whenever they would examine the pasts of characters that used to be Charlton characters. And the cover to issue number 3 is what really attracted me. Secret or Lie, the 3 Captain Atoms, and it shows pictures there of the other 2 Captain Atoms, the way he appeared, the character appeared in Charlton Comics, and so just kind of intriguing. Plus, I've always been a fan of the Broderick art, Pat Broderick art, and so he was one of those artists that has a following, but never quite received the accolades I thought he should have. But Captain Atom 2 and 3, those are just from 1985 or 86. Those are ones I'm looking forward to reading. Now, next 2 are Alpha Flight. Now, a big fan of the Alpha Flight, the John Byrne run of Alpha Flight, of course, his baby, his group. I've been picking up odd issues here and there after the Byrne run, especially the ones that have covers or interior art by Mike Mignola. And picked up issues 32 and 36 simply because of that art. And I like his art. His art has always had a kind of a creepy feel to it. And it was just weird. It was just an oddity when it was applied to Alpha Flight. And it's one of those books that where, as I talked about a few videos ago at Comic Empire, You know, it was such a stark difference when Byrne left and Mignola took over the art chores. Now, this next one I bought, again, it was a $1 book. I'm going to take this one out of the bag because it's a missized bag anyway. It's Silver Sable #1. Silver Sable #1. Not a first appearance, obviously. That was an Amazing Spider-Man. But this was the one of the nicest foil covers I've ever seen on this issue, and just a really beautiful. I've always liked that. I like the gimmick covers, as you know, and I've always liked that cover. For one, it's not the first copy I've got, but it's just a really nice copy. And so got that one to go ahead and bag and board and just wait for their eventual. Fox wants to do Silver Sable story. Wants to take it to the big screen. We'll see if that ever happens. Did pick up another issue of Devil Dinosaur for $3.99. Not bad for that book. Issue #4, high grade, and so always looking to accumulate that run, that short run of Devil Dinosaur. Now, got a book. This was a reprint series done by DC in the. See, when was that? I'm not sure when it was, but it's Wrath of the Spectre. Wrath of the Spectre. And this was just for the sake of going back and reading the old Jim Aparo Spectre stories. This was published in 1988. I figured late 80s. And when DC published a lot of their old books that were hard for collectors to get their hands on. But the Spectre, Wrath of the Spectre #3. I'm going to go ahead and try to find those others. And the final entry here, file this under books, comics you buy for the covers. I had long since gotten off Conan and read Conan for years and enjoyed it, aspects of it, not all aspects of it, but these actually several Conan comics. Looks like 5 issues of King Conan that I bought for the covers. Beautiful, beautiful Mike Kaluta covers. And so there's number 19, King Conan #19. Beautiful Kaluta cover. Kaluta's never done a cover that wasn't beautiful. Issue #25, and I don't even know if Kaluta did all the covers to these books to this whole run, but these were just there in dollar boxes right there alongside each other, and so I picked them up. 29, another beautiful, beautiful Kaluta cover, and issue #30, again. Nice cover. Just that freaked out look, or that weird, strange, freaky look on King Conan's face there. It's just, I don't know. Kaluta does some neat stuff. And then issue 31, again, just wonderful. I love the detail of Kaluta's artwork, and just you know, you see, and then you see all this down here, and there's just so much to see and look at. And so anyway, so just some small haul from the last couple of weeks. It's been a good couple of weeks, and so anyway, that's it. That's it for now. Going to share in the future, hopefully, just some more of those like that Thor first appearances that you can still get that won't break the bank, and still very affordable. And in a lot of cases, you can find them in the cheap boxes. But anyway, hey, subscribe if you haven't. Love to have more subscribers. Like the video, and by all means, comment. Anything that you saw there tickle your fancy, you want to talk about things that you got in your collection, talk about particular work that you just love, that just you know, is the key to your heart or whatever. But hey, thanks for watching 4 Color Commentary, and we'll see you next video.